What's going on, everybody? SLB coming at you with another review. This time I am reviewing Marvel's Ant-Man. Marvel's Ant-Man. Now, first and foremost, I went with my friends Ellery and John from the Harvey and Bob show, and I always go see movies with them, especially these Marvel Cinematic Universes or any comic book movies with them, and we talk about it first and foremost. And Ellery, you were right about some of my problems with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and thank you for enlightening me, and I hate it when you're right. Now, moving on to the movie itself, this video, let's talk about this video right now. It's going to be a spoiler-free video. I'm not going to tell you the ending, I'm not going to tell you any specific details. I'm just going to tell you my thoughts on the cast, how the movie was, things I would like to see next for Ant-Man, and things I would like to see the Marvel Cinematic Universe following Ant-Man. I will do a spoiler review. I'll put the link to that video in the description below. So look forward to that, because there's going to be some comic book stuff in there that I would like to see next as well. Now, for the cast itself, you had Paul Rudd as Scott Lang / Ant-Man, the new Ant-Man. He was okay. He was Paul Rudd being Paul Rudd, and I understand that, with the whole Edgar Wright controversy that happened with this movie, some things might have changed with the character. So that's my one thing with Paul Rudd is, he was he's somewhat believable as a superhero, and yeah, Paul Rudd was okay. Michael Douglas was better than I thought. Michael Douglas played Hank Pym. And the reason why it was better than I thought, because I kind of went into this movie knowing some things and not knowing some things, and one of the things I didn't know, or I somewhat knew, surprised me in this with Michael Douglas. That's why it was better than I thought. Hank Pym, for those of you who don't know, is one of the co-founders of the Avengers in the comic books. And with this, well, I'll save that for the spoiler review. Evangeline Lilly, you might remember her from Lost, the TV show on ABC Lost. You might remember her from The Hobbit. She was good. She had a very interesting chemistry with Michael Douglas as the father-daughter thing, which is good, and her and Paul Rudd had some good back and forth. Corey Stoll, I'm not familiar with him. He's probably one of those actors that if I went back and watched a whole bunch of movies, I'd be like, oh, there he is, or oh, there he is. But he was good as a villain. There were some things with him that I would have liked to seen emphasized or gone more into. Maybe those are just deleted scenes, or maybe those are just not there, or those were, who knows. I could have done without T.I., Michael Pena, and I'm going to butcher this guy's name, David Dastmalchian, Malchain. These three actors played the comic relief of the movie, which a lot of the Marvel Cinematic Universes have those comic relief characters. You got Kat Dennings in Thor. You had who just I'm trying to think of other. I mean, Pepper Potts in Iron Man. The Howling Commandos in Captain America. Phil Coulson, as well. These three characters just were there. They weren't there. They're there, and it's just one of those things I could have done without, or just cast or put more emphasis on those characters in a way. But the movie, in a whole, itself was okay. I left the movie saying it's better than Iron Man 2. It did have, now for the script itself, it did have a different dynamic, because with all the other Marvel Cinematic Universes, it's adults, and they don't have families, but they have relationship issues. Well, except for Thor, but Thor, it's more of a brother-father kind of thing. And Captain America, you had, a man out of his time and all that. And Iron Man, you had, Iron Man dealing with his, issues in all of his movies. But this one, you had the father-daughter dynamic as well as the hero-villain dynamic, which was good. I liked it. I liked that it kind of grounded it more, made it more realistic, more believable. The one thing I would have changed, or I'd like to have changed, was that that Scott Lang has a daughter in the movie. In the movie, she's a little kid. She's got to be maybe 5, 6, 7 years old. I would prefer her to be a teenager, and I'll tell you why in my spoiler review. The backstory on Hank Pym was great. I liked it. Again, it's one of those things I'll talk to you in my spoiler review. And yesterday, as I'm sitting there getting ready to go to see the movie, I was talking with another friend of mine, Andy, and I told him, my one theory that I had about the movie was Hope Van Dyne. I'll go over that in my spoiler review. Now, this movie itself was also a definite passing the mantle kind of thing. Because in the movie, you do find out that Hank Pym was the original Ant-Man. And he's retired and all that. And this is him training the next guy to be Ant-Man, which did happen in the comic books. In the comic books, Scott Lang did become Ant-Man after he stole... Let me try if I remember this correctly. He stole stuff from Stark Industries and wound up working for Tony Stark, and Hank Pym had moved on to become, I think, Goliath, and they wanted somebody to be Ant-Man, and Scott Lang became Ant-Man, which is good. I like that they kept it, almost comic book accurate, which they do a lot with the Marvel Cinematic Universes. They keep the true comic book vibe there, that this should be taken seriously, that this is an actual comic book movie, and they do draw things from the comic books to put into movies. Now, I thought personally that going back to Age of Ultron, that Scott Lang broke into Stark Industries in the movie, and that's how the connection between Scott Lang and the Avengers happened. But that didn't happen in this, and that will be saved again for the spoiler review. Now, one of my problems with this movie, that in the movie Scott Lang mentions that he has this bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering or something along those lines, and you don't see it a lot in the movie. He starts out in jail, and he's a cat burglar, and he doesn't steal, he burgles. That's an exact quote from the movie. I would have liked to have seen more of Scott Lang's, smart side. Him tinkering with... He does tinker a little bit in the movie, but it's for like a minute, 2 minutes. Expand on that. Because this is supposed to be the next Ant-Man. This is Hank Pym's replacement. Now, I did a review of the Ant-Man toy set, and there is a little Hank Pym Ant-Man, and the reason why that is because you find out that Hank Pym was the first Ant-Man, which is great, which is good. And it's not like, at the end, this is not a spoiler, by the way. It's not like at the end of the movie, Hank Pym puts on another suit and he comes to save the rescue. That does not happen, which is great. Let the new guy do it. And overall, the movie in itself was good. I liked it. Not my favorite. Not the worst. I would give it, on a grading scale, B-, C+, along those lines. With that said, there are some improvements that could be made. The design of the suits for right now are good. Moose is behind me right now making noise. You okay there, buddy? Yeah, you're okay. Going back to, the design for the suit was good. It could be improved. It probably will be improved for the next time we see him, which is good. Because for right now, the design of the Ant-Man suit was very, this is the Mark 1 or prototype suit that probably Hank Pym used when he was Ant-Man. So it had a very old feel to it, but the colors, it looked very well on screen. It did look stylistically, it did look a little baggy in some areas, which is good because you don't want the spandex stuff. It fits with what the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with Captain America's padded muscles, Thor's, it's still loose. It's still, you're able to move around. Now, and the way that Ant-Man shrinks is with little buttons in his thumbs, which is good. I like, because usually what you see is like on a belt buckle or something and all that, and there's little buttons on his thumbs that he used, which was, I liked it. I thought it was interesting. It's gonna be weird though when he's like, say for example, he goes to grab something and he accidentally hits the button, accidentally shrinks, but and the CGI in this movie too was very good. It was very CGI heavy, but when Ant-Man shrunk down, it's not like it was complete CGI. There were some scenes where I thought they'd possibly shot on green screen. Paul Rudd or a stuntman in the suit against green screen, running, interacting with insects, or interacting with something to, make it seem like he's interacting with the insects. There was a couple Honey, I Shrunk the Kids moments with the insects, which is fine. The director, Peyton Reed, himself said that he did watch a bunch of shrinking movies to get the feel for, this movie. And aside from that, yeah, I give it a solid B minus, C plus. Now, things I would like to see next for Ant-Man, I would like to see a Wasp Ant-Man team up, which is probably definitely going to happen. I would like to see Goliath. Now, Goliath is, in the comics, is still Hank Pym, but instead of shrinking, he grows. Now, and there's a reason I would like to see that, and give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Sorry. The reason why I'm saying that is because, from what I gather, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is loosely pulling from both the Marvel 616 universe and the Ultimate Universe. Now, the reason why I say that is because in the Ultimates, hold on, I'm trying to look for it. In the Ultimates, there's a panel where, hang on. Ultimate Hank Pym goes up against the Hulk. I'm trying to find it. Hold on. I'm getting close. Hold on. Give me something. Here we go. Here it is. We're just, Hank is just here. Let me see if I can. I don't know if you can see this quite on camera. This is the Ultimates hardcover, which I got, but there's panels of Hulk and Giant Man, is called in the Ultimate Universe, just going at it, and I think that would make for a great scene in the movie, or something in the movie, like, say, spoilers for the end of Age of Ultron. Hulk goes off on his own, and they try to go find him, and it's up to Ant-Man or whoever to go find him, and that happens. That'd be great. And I'll save that part for the spoiler video. Now, just overall, is this the end of Phase 2 or the beginning of Phase 3? Personally, they've come out and said that this is the end of Phase 2. I personally think this is the beginning of Phase 3. There's reasons for that you'll see in the movie. And on a last note, I seriously thought one of the Infinity Stones was going to be involved in this. I was wrong. Spoilers. Minor spoiler. Not the end of the world, but you do not see any mention of the Infinity Stones. And as for that, that has been the review of Marvel's Ant-Man. Let me know what you thought. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Again, I will have a spoilerific, I'm going to spoil the F out of it, review coming up soon. Let me know what you guys think. And as for that, you know, Twitter, Facebook, all that fun stuff, send me an email. Let me know what you guys thought. And this is SLB saying, still don't have a sign-off.